The Governor's Mansion, on ABC's beloved sitcom Benson, 1979 to 1986, was once filled with witty banter, political mishaps, and heartwarming moments that captivated audiences for 7 unforgettable seasons. But behind the laughter and Emmy nominations lies a somber reality. 6 cherished actors from this iconic series have taken their final bow. From the sharp-tongued title character to the bumbling governor himself, these talented performers who brought such joy to millions have left us forever, their voices now echoing only in reruns that remind us how fleeting life truly is. Robert Guillaume brought dignity and sharp wit to television as Benson Dubois, the title character of the hit ABC sitcom that ran from 1979 to 1986. His portrayal of the intelligent, quick-thinking head of household affairs in the Governor's Mansion broke new ground for African-American actors on television, showing a black character who was nobody's fool and commanded respect through his competence and integrity. Guillaume's Benson was more than just a butler. He was the smartest person in every room, often saving his bumbling boss, Governor Gatling, from political disasters with his clever solutions and dry humor. Born Robert Peter Williams on November 30, 1927, in St. Louis, Missouri, Guillaume faced hardship from the very beginning of his life. His mother struggled with alcoholism and eventually abandoned him and his siblings, leaving them to be raised by their grandmother, Jeanette Williams. Despite these difficult circumstances, Guillaume found his calling in music and theater, studying at St. Louis University and Washington University before serving in the U.S. Army. He chose the stage name Guillaume, which is French for William, because he wanted to distinguish himself in his career. Guillaume's path to television success began on the Broadway stage, where he honed his skills in musical theater and opera. He joined the Karamu Players in Cleveland and toured internationally, building the foundation for what would become a remarkable career spanning more than 50 years. His breakthrough in television came when he was cast as Benson Dubois on the soap opera parody Soap in 1977, where his character served as the butler to the wealthy but dysfunctional Tate family. Guillaume's performance was so compelling and popular with audiences that the producers created an entire spin-off series centered around his character. When Benson premiered in 1979, Guillaume's character evolved from butler to a much more significant role as the governor's right-hand man, eventually working his way up to lieutenant governor and even running for governor himself. This character development was groundbreaking for its time, showing an African-American character advancing through merit and intelligence rather than being confined to a stereotypical servant role. Guillaume won 2 Emmy Awards for playing Benson Dubois, one in 1979 for Soap and another in 1985 for Benson, making him the first African-American actor to win the Emmy for Best Actor in a Comedy Series. Beyond his television success, Guillaume continued to break barriers throughout his career. He became the first African-American actor to play the title role in The Phantom of the Opera, when he replaced Michael Crawford in the Los Angeles production in 1990. He also voiced the wise mandrill Rafiki in Disney's The Lion King, earning him a Grammy Award for his spoken-word performance on the audiobook version. His later work included playing Isaac Jaffe on Aaron Sorkin's critically acclaimed series Sports Night, where he continued to demonstrate his range as a dramatic actor even after suffering a stroke in 1999. On October 24, 2017, Robert Guillaume died at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 89, after a long battle with prostate cancer that had lasted 25 years. His passing marked the end of an era for television and theater, as he had consistently used his platform to portray characters with dignity and intelligence, paving the way for future generations of African-American actors, and leaving behind a legacy of excellence that continues to inspire performers today. James Noble played Governor Eugene X. Gatling on Benson, with a perfect blend of sweetness and confusion that made audiences love him despite his constant bumbling. As the well-meaning but absent-minded governor who relied on Benson to keep his political life from falling apart, Noble created a character who was endearing in his incompetence and genuine in his good intentions. His portrayal of Governor Gatling provided the perfect foil for Robert Guillaume's sharp-witted Benson, creating a dynamic that drove much of the show's humor, while showing how two very different people could develop a genuine friendship built on mutual respect and understanding. Born on March 5, 1922 in Dallas, Texas, Noble grew up during the Great Depression and came of age during World War II, experiences that shaped his character and work ethic throughout his life. After graduating from high school, he studied acting and engineering at Southern Methodist University before leaving his studies to serve as an engineering officer in the United States Navy during the war. When he returned from military service, Noble made the decision to pursue his passion for acting seriously, moving to New York City to study under the legendary acting teacher Lee Strasberg at the famous Actors Studio, where he learned the craft that would sustain him through decades of professional work. Noble's career began on the Broadway stage in 1949 with a production called The Velvet Glove, and he continued to work steadily in theater throughout the 1950s and 1960s, building a reputation as a reliable character actor who could handle both dramatic and comedic roles. His most notable Broadway achievement came when he appeared in the original production of 1776, the musical about the Founding Fathers and the signing of the Declaration of Independence, where he played both John Hancock and John Dickinson at different times. This role was so significant that he reprised it in the 1972 film version, working alongside established stars like William Daniels and Howard Da Silva in what became a classic movie musical. Before landing his career-defining role on Benson, Noble worked extensively in television, appearing on popular soap operas including The Brighter Day, As the World Turns, The Doctors, and One Life to Live, where he developed his skills in daily television production and learned to work quickly and efficiently. He also appeared in several notable films, including playing Bo Derek's father in the hit comedy 10, and having a small but memorable role in the political satire Being There, starring Peter Sellers. His television guest appearances included shows like The Love Boat, Perfect Strangers, and demonstrating his versatility and professional reliability that kept him working steadily throughout his career. Noble suffered a stroke in the week before his death and was hospitalized at Norwalk Hospital in Connecticut, where he died on March 28, 2016, at the remarkable age of 94. His death came exactly 11 years after his wife, actress Carolyn Coates, had passed away in 2005, ending a marriage that had lasted nearly 50 years. He was survived by his daughter, Jessica Catherine Noble Cowan, who spoke about her father's kindness and professionalism that had made him beloved by colleagues throughout the entertainment industry. James Noble's legacy lives on through his memorable performance as Governor Gatling, a character who showed that even the most bumbling leader could have a good heart and the wisdom to surround himself with people smarter than himself. René Auberjonois. René Auberjonois brought pompous arrogance and hidden vulnerability to life as Clayton Runnymede Endicott III, the governor's snobbish chief of staff who joined Benson in its second season and became one of the show's most memorable characters. His portrayal of the insecure, self-important political aide who constantly clashed with Benson created some of the series' funniest moments, as Clayton's attempts to assert his authority usually backfired spectacularly thanks to his own incompetence and Benson's superior intellect. Auberjonois played Clayton with just the right balance of unlikable smugness and pathetic neediness that made audiences love to hate him while occasionally feeling sorry for his obvious personal struggles and desperate need for approval. Born in New York City on June 1, 1940, René Auberjonois came from a family with deep artistic roots, as his father was a well-known illustrator, and his grandfather was a famous Swiss post-impressionist painter. He grew up surrounded by creativity and artistic expression, which naturally led him toward the performing arts from an early age. After attending Carnegie Institute of Technology in Pittsburgh, which is now known as Carnegie Mellon University, Auberjonois moved into professional theater work and quickly established himself as a versatile character actor who could handle both classical and contemporary roles with equal skill and dedication. Auberjonois first gained significant attention in the theater world during the 1960s, when he appeared in 3 different Broadway productions in 1968, including a memorable performance as the Fool in a long-running production of King Lear. His breakthrough moment came in 1970, when he won a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Musical for his performance in Coco, the Broadway musical starring Katharine Hepburn as fashion designer Coco Chanel. That same year, he appeared in the film version of M.A.S.H., directed by Robert Altman, playing the role of Father John Mulcahy, the Army chaplain, which introduced him to movie audiences and helped establish his reputation as a reliable character actor who could bring depth and humanity to supporting roles. After his 7-year run on Benson ended in 1986, Auberjonois continued to work steadily in television, film, and voice acting, but his most famous role came when he was cast as Odo, the shape-shifting security chief on Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, which ran for 7 seasons from 1993 to 1999. This science fiction role allowed him to showcase his acting skills through heavy makeup and prosthetics, creating a complex alien character who struggled with questions of identity and belonging that resonated with many viewers. He also did extensive voice work throughout his career, including playing the villainous Chef Louis in Disney's The Little Mermaid, where he performed the memorable song Les Poissons, about cooking fish for dinner. René Auberjonois died on December 8, 2019, at his home in Los Angeles after battling metastatic lung cancer, which had spread throughout his body. He was 79 years old and had continued working almost until the end of his life, demonstrating the same professional dedication that had characterized his entire career. His son, Rémi-Luc Auberjonois, confirmed his father's death and spoke about how he had remained passionate about his craft and grateful for the opportunities he had been given to bring so many different characters to life. Auberjonois left behind a remarkable legacy of versatility and professionalism that spanned theater, television, film, and voice acting, proving that a talented character actor could build a lasting career by consistently delivering memorable performances across multiple genres and mediums. Caroline McWilliams. Caroline McWilliams played Marcy Hill, Governor Gatling's personal secretary and Benson's closest friend in the mansion during the first 2 seasons of Benson, bringing warmth and genuine human connection to a character who served as both comic relief and emotional anchor for the show. Her portrayal of the unlucky-in-love secretary who constantly confided in Benson about her romantic disasters created some of the series' most touching moments, as she showed how friendship could develop between people from different backgrounds who genuinely cared about each other's happiness and well-being. McWilliams made Marcy feel like a real person with real problems, rather than just a plot device, and her chemistry with Robert Guillaume helped establish the supportive relationships that became central to the show's appeal. Born Caroline Margaret McWilliams on April 4, 1945, she grew up during the post-war boom years and came of age during the social changes of the 1960s, eventually finding her way into acting through the world of daytime television that was becoming increasingly popular and sophisticated during that era. Like many actors of her generation, McWilliams cut her teeth on soap operas, where the demanding schedule of daily television production taught performers to work quickly, memorize large amounts of dialogue, and develop characters over long periods of time. She appeared on several major daytime dramas, including Another World and Guiding Light, where she played Janet Norris and developed the skills that would serve her well in her later primetime television work. McWilliams' transition from daytime to primetime television came at a time when the industry was becoming more open to complex female characters, who weren't just wives or love interests, but had their own stories and personalities. Before joining Benson, she had already appeared on the groundbreaking soap opera parody, Soap, where she played Sally, giving her experience working with the same creative team that would later develop Benson as a spin-off series. This connection helped her land the role of Marcy Hill, and her performance was so well received that fans were disappointed when her character was written off the show at the end of the second season, reportedly to allow the actress to focus on her personal life and marriage to actor Michael Keaton. Her marriage to Michael Keaton in 1982 brought McWilliams into the spotlight of Hollywood celebrity culture, as Keaton was rising to fame with his breakthrough role in Night Shift and would soon become a major star with Mr. Mom and eventually Batman. The couple had a son together in 1983, but their marriage ended in divorce in 1990, and McWilliams largely stepped away from high-profile acting work to focus on raising their child. She continued to work occasionally throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, making guest appearances on shows like Beverly Hills 90210, where she played Ray Pruitt's mother, and had a recurring role on Judging Amy in 2002, which turned out to be her final television appearance. Caroline McWilliams died on February 11, 2010, at the age of 64, after battling multiple myeloma, a type of cancer that affects the bone marrow and can be particularly aggressive and difficult to treat. Her death came as a shock to many of her former colleagues and fans who remembered her fondly from her television work, particularly her time on Benson, where she had brought such life and authenticity to the role of Marcy Hill. McWilliams represented a generation of television actresses who helped establish the foundation for more complex female characters on television, proving that supporting roles could be just as important as leading ones when performed with skill, dedication, and genuine emotional truth. Inga Swenson. Inga Swenson created one of television's most memorable characters as Gretchen Wilhelmina Krauss, the sharp-tongued German cook on Benson, who engaged in constant verbal warfare with the title character, while somehow managing to become his closest friend and strongest supporter by the series' end. Her thick German accent and fierce pride made Gretchen a formidable presence in the governor's mansion, and Swenson's brilliant comic timing turned every exchange between Benson and Gretchen into appointment television for fans who loved watching these two strong personalities clash and eventually develop genuine respect for each other. The running gag where Benson would mutter insults under his breath, only to have Gretchen bellow, "I hear you," from across the room became one of the show's most beloved recurring jokes and showcased Swenson's perfect sense of comedic timing. Born on December 29, 1932, in Omaha, Nebraska, Inga Swenson grew up in the American Midwest during the Great Depression, developing the strong work ethic and no-nonsense attitude that would later serve her well in both her career and her most famous television role. Many fans of Benson assumed that Swenson was actually German because of her convincing accent on the show, but she was actually a Nebraska native who learned to speak perfect German for the role and maintained it so consistently that even her co-workers sometimes forgot she was putting on an accent. Her father died in a car accident when she was just 15 years old, a tragedy that forced her to grow up quickly and develop the inner strength that would help her navigate the challenging world of professional entertainment. Swenson's true passion was musical theater, and she trained as a lyric soprano before making her way to New York City to pursue a career on Broadway, where she quickly established herself as a versatile performer who could handle both dramatic and comedic roles with equal skill. Her Broadway career included starring roles in major productions like 110 in the Shade in 1963, where she played Lizzie Curry and earned her first Tony Award nomination for Best Actress in a Musical, and Baker Street in 1965, a Sherlock Holmes musical where she played Irene Adler and received her second Tony nomination. She also appeared in notable films including The Miracle Worker in 1962, where she played Helen Keller's mother opposite Patty Duke, and Advise and Consent in the same year, demonstrating her range as a dramatic actress in serious films. Before becoming a household name on Benson, Swenson had already appeared on the parent show Soap in 1978, playing Ingrid Svensson, a Swedish character who was revealed to be the birth mother of Corinne Tate, which led directly to her being cast as Gretchen Kraus on the spin-off series. Her performance as Gretchen earned her 3 Emmy Award nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series in 1980, 1982, and 1985, recognition that reflected how perfectly she had captured the character's combination of toughness and vulnerability. After Benson ended, she continued working in television with guest appearances on shows like The Golden Girls, Newhart, and the miniseries North and South, before retiring from acting in 1998 to focus on her personal life and family. Inga Swenson died peacefully of natural causes on July 23, 2023, at the age of 90, in a board-and-care facility in Los Angeles, with her husband of 70 years, Emmy Award-winning sound engineer Lowell Harris, at her side. Her health had been declining for about 6 months before her death, but she lived a remarkably long and fulfilling life that included not only her successful entertainment career, but also a loving marriage and family that brought her great joy in her later years. Swenson's legacy lives on through her unforgettable portrayal of Gretchen Kraus, a character who proved that supporting roles could be just as important and memorable as leading ones when performed with dedication, skill, and the kind of authentic comic timing that made every scene she appeared in sparkle with genuine humor and heart. Billy Bird. Billy Bird brought warmth and wit to Benson during its final seasons as Rose Cassidy, the sassy widow who became the governor's new chef when Gretchen Kraus was promoted to administrative assistant in season 6. Though she joined the show relatively late in its run, Bird's portrayal of the cheerful but sharp-tongued Rose added a fresh dynamic to the governor's mansion, as her character often referenced her late husband Mr. Cassidy while dispensing folksy wisdom and keeping everyone in line with her no-nonsense attitude. Her performance demonstrated how a skilled character actress could step into an established ensemble cast and immediately feel like she had always belonged there, bringing her own unique energy while respecting the show's established tone and relationships. Born Billy Bird Sellon on February 28, 1908, in Pocatello, Idaho, she had one of the most remarkable and unlikely paths to stardom in entertainment history, beginning her career as a child when she was discovered at the age of 8 while living in an orphanage. A traveling vaudeville troupe spotted her natural talent for performing and took her on the road, where she learned the fundamentals of entertainment during an era when vaudeville was still one of America's most popular forms of live entertainment. This early start in show business taught her the importance of connecting with audiences and gave her the professional skills and work ethic that would sustain her through an incredible career that would eventually span more than 8 years in the entertainment industry. Bird's career took her through nearly every form of entertainment that existed during the 20th century. From vaudeville stages to nightclub performances, from radio shows to television sitcoms, and from small character roles in films to major supporting parts in some of Hollywood's biggest movies. During the 1980s and 1990s, She became a familiar face to movie audiences through her frequent appearances in films directed by John Hughes, including memorable roles in 16 Candles, Home Alone, and Dennis the Menace, where she often played elderly relatives or neighbors who provided comic relief with her perfect timing and natural ability to deliver funny lines with complete sincerity. Her television work included regular roles on sitcoms like It Takes Two and Dear John, where she starred opposite Judd Hirsch, proving that she could handle both small guest appearances and major supporting roles with equal skill. One of the most remarkable aspects of Bird's life was her service to American troops during the Vietnam War, when she created and performed her own variety show called Flying High with Billy Bird, which she took on 12 separate USO tours to entertain soldiers in the war zone during the 1960s and early 1970s. Her dedication to supporting the troops was so appreciated that she became one of the few women ever to receive an honorary membership in the Green Berets, a recognition that reflected not only her talent as a performer, but also her courage and commitment to using her abilities to boost morale during one of America's most difficult and controversial military conflicts. Billy Bird died on November 27, 2002, in Granada Hills, California, at the age of 94, after suffering from Alzheimer's disease for several years, a cruel condition that gradually took away the sharp mind and quick wit that had made her such a beloved performer throughout her long career. She had been married to Edwin Selin until his death in 1966, and they had 3 children together who survived her and carried on her legacy of kindness and professionalism. Bird's death marked the end of a direct connection to the golden age of American entertainment, as she had literally worked her way through vaudeville, radio, television, and movies, adapting to each new medium while always maintaining the authentic warmth and humor that made audiences love her from the moment she stepped onto any stage or screen.